Now, the first thing is we need to come to a realization. I don't typically want to term people in the system right now as corrupt. I see the system as corrupt, not the people. So what we're doing in USOSA right now is simply just seeing how you can then, well, first of all, my mandate to me was clear. Try to create that tribe again. The tribe existed, but I say create the tribe because it's the case of activating them under the Pro Unitate banner, and that work is still in process. But everything cannot wait till you complete that work of activating nationally. So, moving forward, it's a two-pronged attack, really. Whilst you're still creating that tribe, building the nation, building the numbers, you start taking some initiatives to rectify or instill good where there is bad already. My recent visit to FGGC Owerri tells the story. You find that the old girls there, for example, had looked at their school. Now, this is a school like FGGC Benin that is in the capital city, so it's easy for them to reach their school and do things. So it's a case of, one, building the tribe further, and in the tribe on two fronts, community, and then do give backs. We should remember at all points in time our vision. Our vision really is three-pronged. At the let's promote excellence in education, be at the vanguard of good governance, and building a community of alumni associations, which we individually are proud to be part of. So those are the three-pronged attack to deliver what we want to do. We're building USOSANs in cities so that we can build that network and have local people that we know, 11 locations nationwide, locations being the states, using their cities, their capital cities as the anchor. And build that web an appendage or the back end to that will be a social network for USOSA exclusively, mimicking Facebook, where we can all go and register. So like what you have on Pro Unitate closed group on Facebook, but this is a bigger closed group. That way we have everybody's data in there. We know what they do. We know their schools. We know their sets, and there'll be different privacy levels. I was just simply highlighting the vision, and around that, the mandate which we have set for ourselves for the rest of the term that we have, which is just barely 18 months, which are actually things that I highlighted in my speech during the last plenary. Yeah. So in essence, it's just driving on that and building for that, this union and strengthening it, challenging USOSANs in their various areas to do what is right for themselves and for the nation. In essence, that's what it is. I will share with you what by WhatsApp now. What our focus on to deliver over the next 18 months. It's quite it's huge, and the way we're going to do that, I've decided with the Exco, is we need to build most of this into timeline. So we're looking at setting up a retreat. We're waiting for when we could have a physical retreat to make that happen. So, you can see the map that we have, okay, with the guidance of the Board of Trustees, who are really the custodians of the tradition. Now, the trick with having every individual in a forum, just like the closed group on Facebook, is to give the USOSA Exco a direct access to the individual alumni members. That is the the individuals themselves. That way you can communicate with them. But in doing that, we always have to recognize and balance that you are not in charge of that territory. You can talk to that individual to engage more and do things that you want with his national association. Okay, I mean, post-COVID, acceleration of this vision is activations of, for us on the USOSA front, making sure we engage plenary-wise, physically meeting. We do those physical meetings by going around the nation to get different schools to host on a quarterly or at least twice a year. That's on one basis. On the other side, what we're doing with SOSA, and we'll start doing that online, not waiting for the COVID thing to end, is to now start having webinars and engagements using these tools like we have right now, where we're bringing USOSA experts or experts that are USOSANs in different subject matters to now address those things and engage USOSANs. The whole idea is now to be driving our thoughts in a particular direction. If you look at the aspirations of the expo that I've just highlighted to you, if there's anything that you think we should do within this period, you can then give me an indication of that, and I can then look and see that, okay, yes, this aligns with something that I want to do. Then I can mandate or drive that through the responsible exco member. Who is Lawrence Wilbert? Lawrence Wilbert is a Nigerian that grew up in Benin City, and his world outlook or activities was defined by the activities around him, which is from Benin, ended up in FGC Ugolawo in Benue State. Finishing FGC Ugolawo, then ended up in the Soviet Union by Providence, because I didn't get my JAM result, not because I wasn't an excellent student, but simply because of an error in doing JAM. Didn't indicate my math subject paper, so that wasn't marked. So it was quite interesting. Ended up in the Soviet Union, which turned out to be a sort of like a global Federal Unity College, again, if I put it that word, Global Unity College, because it brought me into a pot of people from different parts of the world, all mixed into hostel and schools with the Soviets then, subsequently ending up in the United Kingdom for another postgrad program. And then, look at the world and said, hey, with all this that is going on, what can we really do for Nigeria? And it's in that question, in that defining what are we here for as humans, that, drove my interest into alumni associations and grassroots development in Nigeria, because we should ask ourselves, we've gone to some of the best schools in the world. And the first rated countries right now are such that they were actually built or developed to this stage by people like us in their own time, who were trained, groomed, and brilliant for their own time. So I asked myself, what are we doing in our own time, in our country, in our continent, where we are needed? And that's what drove this. So I think I call myself a passionate grassroots development enthusiast. And I seem to have built an expertise in alumni associations, or associations really, and that is expressed in my building my local chapter in Lagos for Federal Government College Ugolawo, and then subsequently going on to be the national president based on the good works I've done with the local chapter. And then here I am as a President General, trying to build or rebuild this coalition to be a proper functioning one as a coalition, because we do have pockets of good, strong alumni associations, but many are not like that. So that is what we're doing right now. But along that same line, whilst building or developing or encouraging Nigerians to come together and do what is right by them for Nigeria, there's also the grassroots part. What is actually going on in the politicking of the grassroots? So from that perspective, I took up the responsibility of a village chairman. I'm also a village chairman. I go to Edo I'm trying to see how I can develop my village in Edo to become a town, albeit a small town with a population of under 2,000 people. So that experience, it's quite unique because you now see the challenges on ground, and you then understand that this country cannot go anywhere without you and I, David, and every other person like us getting involved in the grassroots. We can speak all the English we want to speak at national level. We can enjoy the developed cities in Nigeria like Abuja, but the country will not move because the grassroots are not developing, simply because they don't have the right kind of leadership there. It will always drag things back. And that is why part of the development in Nigeria is tilted poorly or sadly. You see more development in the South because you have lack of proper leadership in most places in the North. Not because they don't have a wealthy, enlightened elite class, but in many of those locations, the leadership is lacking. I led a delegation to go see the Federal Minister of State of Education just a few days ago, and he gave us some very sad statistics. In Zamfara State, for example, there are hardly any, if at all, very few qualified teachers in the whole state. And the governor is doing nothing about that. It's a similar story in many of these northern states. So where you have a governor like El Rufai taking the bull by the horn, it's simply because he had seen the problem and decided he needed to do something about it. Many of the governors in those locations are doing nothing about it. So you find that as USOSA PG, we focus on our schools to make sure that we can try to bring them back into a semblance of center of excellence for basic and secondary education. But on a governance level, moving the country forward, we need to deal with education nationally. So work with the Federal Ministry of Education from that perspective to deal with that issue. And of course, encourage our USOSAs in various locations to see that they can live up to this ethos of being beneficiaries of a brilliant education, and also to see how they can work together with us to move this country forward, which is really what USOSA is. Yeah. Encourage ourselves, pull ourselves, and see how we can all come together to move it forward. It's a very exciting task. It's a very challenging task. But that's why we're having this conversation. It's a job for all of us. We all do our part so that we can create that strong room. Get involved. The grassroots needs you. This country cannot move forward without us getting involved. Look for the area of that you are comfortable with to get involved. But I would always encourage, understand the system of governance in Nigeria and put more emphasis on the grassroots, the local government, your village, because that's where development is needed. You can change it from there, it rises to the top. The truth about it is, it will happen in our lifetime if we get involved, if we all consciously get involved. This thing will take 10, 15 years, and we have current ministers who are active to see how they can get things done right in the further unity colleges. The Minister of State is practically traveling around the various geopolitical zones and going around to see for himself the state of affairs in each of the schools. So he's
is becoming more of an expert in the state of affairs in the unity school, really. And they're doing a lot to deal with he's doing a lot to deal with the problems with the unity schools. And I was delightfully surprised. Perhaps I shouldn't be, because he's only doing his job. The in-depth knowledge about the issue. So when we are talking, he knows what we are talking, not because he has seen them. And
Yes.
he can even tell us things that we don't even know because he's been there recently, which is very good. For example, we spoke about how we should work together to streamline the admission process, because right now it's a money-making scheme, and everybody wants to end up in just the safe capital cities, Lagos, all those places where people feel they are safe. They don't want their children to go far, because of course the problem, the schools are experiencing the ills of the society. There's insecurity. Nobody wants to send this child from Lagos to Sokoto. Sokoto it's a good school, or from Lagos to Kano. Kano is an excellent school right now. The facilities are top notch. They have an excellent principal. But if you tell any parent in Lagos or Port Harcourt, send your child to Kano, but the school is very good.
Yes.
People don't know this. Guzau, of course, you can't fly into Guzau. Guzau, they have good principal, everything, managing the facilities well, properly there. You have a fairly good academic, the faculty is good. They're getting good results. But if you tell somebody from the south, send your child there, no, God forbid. And it's understandable, But you see, this is where the alumni associations need to now start working. When we started off this tenure, we haven't done it, but it's something that is that we still have to do. We wanted to sit down with our USOSAs in the military, in the security services, in the National Assembly, talk heart to heart. What is actually going on? What can we do? If we say we don't even solve the problem of the whole Nigeria in every locality, let's solve the problem of Nigeria using our schools and their localities as points of reference. Yes, if we can target those areas, then we can now start talking about the goods of those areas. The truth be told is there's a lot of work, but there's opportunity. The federal government, like I was discussing with the federal minister, the federal government right now, they are pumping money to light up Nigeria through solar energy, and they are focusing on the rural areas. So raise this, okay, why don't we now work with you and then engage the electrification agency, rural education agency, that's where the money is, to light up Nigeria by lighting up the localities where our schools are. That way, our schools are lit up 24/7, and the community around there will get some light. So we're improving our schools whilst,
improving
carrying
the
the community
quality as
along.
well. Yes.
That is on one side. Then there is also correct. Then the other one is on water. The current Minister of Water Resources is a USOSA, and an active one for that matter. He's a national president himself of FGC Kano Alumni Association. So he's that passionate himself, So we're talking, what can they now do to roll out this? There's a initiative called Clean Nigeria. They don't have the money yet, but it's an initiative already being worked on with multilateral agencies, the World Bank and stuff like that. Why again can't we then, pencil down, unity schools in the 6 geopolitical zones, so that they can be used as pilot areas for this Clean Nigeria initiative? What is Clean Nigeria initiative? To see how they can provide more access, pipe-borne water access, clean sanitation. Many of our schools, the sanitation is horrible, sanitation and stuff like that. And then see how we can also then, the third part is strengthen our relationship with the administration in each of the schools, so that we know their plans exactly. And then we can then do our give back, align properly with their plans. Because we build dormitories, we renovate and stuff like that. The minister, was happy about this. So he now also told us what they were doing. And also suggested that why don't we also set up like a maintenance, in his own thinking, explaining in school. Some of the schools have very sure it's horrible. So why don't we set up a maintenance company or such, so that with our passion we can drive this company to provide maintenance in the schools and develop the maintenance culture in the school. So I mean, those are the kind of conversations we are having. By the time we establish this and create a framework, then it's now up to the various alumni associations to now take it up, because we're doing all this together. I wouldn't want, you see, there is my brother, I like what you're doing, because you are getting involved in what you want, also getting involved in your school, and, challenging things to be done. Because if you were based on ground in Nigeria, I'm sure every year you will have been visiting your school, to see what is going on and get the exact situation report. Now, but I don't want the situation, and it becomes you will find me in a conversation like that. I will have to ask and challenge each of these my lovely friends. What is their level of involvement in the school? What have they done in the school? When was the last time they visited the school, if at all? If they are not chance to do that because of geographical displacement, then how much have they strengthened their alumni associations to do right by them? Because there's no point at our age. We don't need to be talking anymore. We need to also show some action behind our talk. So I mean, take up from this, if we may. You see the plan that we have, albeit huge, for the next 2 years. Look through that and see if there are any quick wins you think we should build in there, and then let's see how we can do that together with you, with your own aspirations, so that we can put some timelines behind it and make this happen.
I will get back to you on that. Let me once again thank you for your time. Let me once again say it's an honor to have spoken with you.